starting from $1,399. Save $400 off the Samsung 11 kilogram front load washer, now just $3,499. Shop with Ready Finance and take advantage of our new payment protection plan and get 1 month free only at Quartz, bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
No frills, just great prices, only at Quartz. We don't just talk about it, we've got it. Shop with confidence and save big. Up to 50% off appliances, furniture, electronics, and so much more. Plus, pay with Ready Finance and get 1 month free. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
The Nawasa app brings the power of Nawasa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. Like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawasa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Say hello to Grenada's hidden gem, Mandela Court, a Grenadian-owned luxury boutique hotel tucked away in Lansipine. Our fully equipped suites are now complemented by an international standard restaurant and conference room. So whether you're having a formal business event, quaint garden wedding, or just a relaxed dinner for two, you can count on Mandela Court for that luxurious experience. Call today to book your viewing or reservation. We look forward to welcoming you.
We are committed Catholics. Listen to us.
Youth like us must be given a hearing.
I am a farmer and I have a story to tell.
I'm a farmer and I too would like to share my story.
Even though we walk over there Sunday to Sunday, we too have a story to tell.
I am a Catholic sometimes, and I have things to say. I need someone to listen. I have a lot to say on behalf of single parents.
The Catholic Diocese of St. George's in Grenada has begun a synod process. Pope Francis has involved the Universal Church. Your voice is important. Come, share your story, your experience, and your expectations of church.
Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. It's your boy Troy, and we are here at the beautiful, the picturesque Fort Frederick in St. George's. All right guys, and here we are going to be doing another fitness episode for you guys. All right, and we're going to make it simple, very effective guys, workout so that you can get pumped and ready for today. So we are going to be doing the traditional, all right, we call this jumping jack, but we're gonna be doing several variations. All right guys, so follow me as we go along. Are you ready? All right, so the first one is really quite simple, right? You step like this, the other way. Let's go. 3, Nice and easy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Then the actual jumping jack now, guys. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Good job, guys, if you were following. Then we're gonna do jumping jack with a shoulder press. All right, guys, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Good job, guys, if you were following. And this is the final one in the first round. This one is squat, jumping jack. All right, so go down into a squat and you come up. Ready, guys? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nice and easy. 9, one more, 10. Woo! Good job, guys, if you were following. So that's the first set. We got 2 more sets for you guys. All right, so follow me as we go along. Good old-fashioned jumping jack. All right, we kind of mixing it up a little bit, different variations to get you pumped, get your blood flowing, get your heart pumping, get you ready to start your day. All right, guys, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job, guys. Woo! Actual jumping jack now. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Good job, guys, if you're following. All right. Jumping jack with a shoulder press. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Good job, guys. Final one, the second set. Right? Squat, jumping jacks. All right? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, woo! 5, it's windy up here. 6, almost got blown away. 7, 8, come on. 9, let's go. 10, woo! Good job, guys. If you were following. Now for the squat, I want you to take it easy with this one. If you got bad knees, you got bad joints, then you can avoid this one. All right, guys? So you can do the first 3 without doing the one with the squat. All right, guys? Or if you want to challenge yourself, you can do the squat, but you can squat to where you can reach. All right, guys? And remember to take your sips of water in and between sets. All right, guys? Right. So we're into the third and final set. You guys ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Good job, guys, if you are following. Traditional jumping jacks now. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Good job, guys. If you are following, shoulder press with the jumping jack. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Final set, final exercise in the final set, squat, right, with the jumping jack. All right, guys, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, 10. Woo! Good job, guys, if you are following. All right, so you can incorporate these exercises, these movements into your daily routine, guys. All right, to get you fit, get you healthy, get you to burn some calories. All right, guys, and remember, I just want to encourage you, make sure that you're drinking your water. All right, make water your #1 beverage, guys. All right, it's important to stay hydrated. All right, guys, and I also want to encourage you to make healthy choices as well. All right, so whatever it is that you're going to purchase today, prepare a meal, or you're going to go buy a meal, or whatever it is, remember to make healthy choices, as it's going to determine your health. All right, remember, your health is your wealth. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. See you again on Rise and Shine.
With the details, I'm Tony Julian. 27-year-old Kenny Daniel of Pearl St. Andrew made his second court appearance at the Grenville Magistrates Court on Monday. Daniel was slapped with non-capital murder after he allegedly attacked John Merchant, chopping him and dismembering his body before putting the body parts in buckets and placing them in a nearby river. Residents in the community said that the deceased John Merchant, who had moved to Grenada a couple of years ago, and the alleged killer Daniel had been good friends for many years. Presiding over Daniel's matter on Monday was Magistrate Nevlin John. And he's yet to retain legal counsel and continues to be remanded at Her Majesty's Prison. Daniel is expected to reappear in court on the 31st of this month, March. It's been a hard road for one retired firefighter who served in the Royal Grenada Police Force for many years. The former officer suffered a stroke which left him paralyzed and unable to move around. But thanks to a former colleague and other donors, his life is about to improve significantly. This after he received a generous donation that will aid in his mobility. Let's get more on it from Troy Gill.
Retired firefighter Richard Simon, who resides in Simoon, St. Andrew, and is unable to walk due to a stroke, was the recipient of a wheelchair and a ramp due to a donation facilitated by former colleague Daniel Searles and 2 other retirees who served in the police force. Speaking to MTV News on Monday, Searles, who did not want to appear on camera, said he paid his former colleague a visit and was disappointed by what he saw.
On the 11th of January of this year, while I was at Grenville, I received information that one of my former workers, in that we worked together, I was his supervisor and he my subordinate, had a medical problem. About 10 days after, I went and I located him, and what I saw annoyed me.
He then got together with his former colleagues and they proceeded to procure a wheelchair and ramp, which was handed over to Mr. Simon not too long ago.
I sourced a wheelchair, which I subsequently delivered to him. And realizing that we had to build a ramp, I have the material, and with the help of Mr. Martin Stephen, a retired police officer as well, and another colleague, Mr. Lennox Halley, we managed to put things together. Mr. Stephen built the ramp for me, and I went up and installed it myself. As a result, I hope the gentleman is comfortable today.
He said both himself and Simon worked together as firefighters up until their retirement.
I was in charge of the fire service when he was one of the drivers in the fire service. So we worked together. And that would have been in the 90s. He has since retired, just as myself. And it is a medical problem he has. I am told that he had a stroke, so he's unable to walk.
MTV News visited the home of Simon, who expressed his gratitude.
I'm feeling great to now work with a man. As Mr. Daniel Saucy, I care about him. I can remember the first time I go up the tower. When he said, gentlemen, you're allowed to climb the tower. I said, Mr. Saucy, I'm the pump operator. He said, no, Simon. Everybody has to share. We save life and property.
For MTV News, I am Troy Gill.
A local pastor has expressed concern about the negative impact that will follow the pandemic period. According to Pastor Ricardo Aline, the community and other experts need to come together to help people who have suffered losses over the 2 years. We have more from Donella Houston.
The recent spate of negative incidents has raised concerns among many, particularly the church. And according to Pastor Ricardo Aline, coming out of the pandemic, he believes there are many people who have been left traumatized, and he is calling on the relevant authorities, including the churches, to step in and play their part.
I personally believe that we are not picking up what the symptoms are actually saying. And I personally believe there are symptoms. And I think that we've got to be very careful that we do not try to address symptoms, but go beyond it. And I believe that this would need to be looked at very much by all and sundry, by our school authorities, our police. Of course, the church also needs to be looking at this here.
He says he believes that people need to be healed.
And I believe that people need to be healed, people need to be delivered, people need to be comforted. You have so many people families that will have lost their loved ones actually during the pandemic, and now they may be still crying out. All right, so quite a lot has happened.
Pastor Aline says the trauma that some people have been faced with has left quite a number of people terrified.
People were traumatized over the past 2 years. And that trauma has left people, in some cases, terrified. All right. I know individuals up to now cannot sleep, cannot, don't even want to see night come because they have been so petrified.
He noted that sometimes people need to seek spiritual assistance rather than scientific.
I believe that people need to, in many cases, going to a doctor is not going to be the answer in some cases because doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, and I'm not against medical practitioners, they have a part to play. But I know individuals who have gone to doctors and guess what? They've gone back and gone back and gone back. They got medication and many times it does not solve because many times it's not just physical, many times it's a spiritual issues and problems.
Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Houston.
Bob Adams, a farmer on the sister isle of Carriacou, is calling on the relevant authorities to ensure that the sister isle has veterinary services made readily available. Adams says what is available is not good enough. Let's get more from Donella Houston.
According to Bob Adams, it is appalling that the small island of Carriacou does not have a veterinarian, particularly as the island has a large population of animals. He said 2 of his sheep were attacked by dogs recently, and he believes had there been a vet on the island to treat the sheep, they may not have died. He said when he called to request the services, he was informed that there hasn't been a vet on island for at least 2 years. Adams' situation is not unique, but many other farmers suffer these losses. Adams' situation is not unique, but many other farmers suffer these losses. He also made brief mention of another farmer who lost 6 sheep to dogs. He says the authorities need to ensure that there is a vet on island. Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs, Kindra Mathurin Stewart, confirmed that they did not have qualified vets on island, but they do receive support from retired vets, St. George's University, and the Ministry of Agriculture. Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Houston.
As part of the celebrations for Commonwealth Day 2022, the British High Commission, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, held a creative art competition for secondary school students. The competition saw students displaying artistic skills through the creation of a variety of creative pieces. It was topped by Alex Simon, a student of the Presentation Brothers College. Simon said he was elated to have won.
I mean, wow, it's like, I didn't expect it, but, you know, I thank God that I was able, he gave me the skills to apply myself, and I feel great.
Second place winner was Ariana Williams of St. Joseph's Convent, Grenville, placing third, Naomi Allard, who was followed by Keontae Joseph, also from St. Joseph's Convent in Grenville. Both students noted that it was indeed hard work to put their pieces together.
It took a lot of hard work to come up with this because I wanted to put all the values in one piece.
Well, I spent nights and days going through websites and articles, reading about the different Commonwealth Games and where they were held and the countries that participated in it.
Also receiving prizes was Asa St. Bernard of the Presentation Brothers College. Now, very often the Parliamentary Elections Office comes under scrutiny as elections approach. Here in Grenada, elections are constitutionally due next year, 2023. As voter registration among Grenadians increases, voter and civic registration officer at the Parliamentary Elections Office, Ferdinand Phillip, has been appearing regularly in the media, sharing information as to the process. Recently, Phillip in fact assured the public that their information is secure and data is processed using a single computerized registration system.
Some persons would be mindful that they previously used a blue card, a laminated card, and previous to that, a yellow laminated card again. This is what was used, and there was this strip of paper with laminate covering it. That was used previously. You had a physical photograph that was inside of that document, and of course there was no expiration date. You did not take a fingerprint and things like that. Now this is a system that was enforced before 2012, but as of January 2012, a new system came into force, which we refer to as the computerized voter registration system.
This computerized system operates using one server, which is located at the Parliamentary Elections Office, and the process itself is governed by the law enforced in January 2012. One of the important features of the system is fingerprinting. Phillip says all information is recorded on the system and cannot be removed or deleted.
That system shall contain the name and such information as is provided for under this Act and Part 3 of the first schedule of every person who is qualified and registered to vote in Grenada. And C, that system shall assign a voter registration number that is unique to every person registered therein. So yes, every person has an identifying number or their voter registration number, and even though we are in the process of replacing the cards, the number remains the same. So persons need to be aware of that.
So, just how secure is your information? Phillip explains further.
Again, under this Act, and I'm reading 3 of that same document, all personal data, collected and entered into the system shall only be used for the purposes of this Act and in accordance with the provisions of this Act. That basically says that, it's on several occasions, law enforcement have called us. They want information put into an individual. And on every occasion, we have had to humbly say to them, according to law, we cannot do that. And we are protected by law. Your information is protected by law.
SpiceMass Corporation has issued the requirements for qualified stakeholders to receive a subvention in preparation for SpiceMass 2022. Applicants must first complete the registration process with their respective associations or provide evidence of the submission of the registration form to their respective organizations and provide a work plan and budget before applying for subvention. All fancy and traditional mass band leaders, calypso tents and parish committees, presidents who were recipients of subventions in 2019 are to submit their financial reports by the 25th of March to process documentation to facilitate the timely payment of subventions for Spice Mass 2022. The application forms are available at the Spice Mass Corporation office, or they can be sent via email upon request. Several religious ministers from various denominations were among those who graduated with degrees in various courses in theology at the Grenada Institute of Theological Education graduation ceremony held over the weekend, as we now hear from Troy Gill.
The Grenada Institute of Theological Education held its graduation ceremony at the Gateway Assembly Pentecostal Church at Caliste, St. George on Saturday, with 25 students, including pastors and leaders from various religious denominations, graduating with various degrees in theology, leadership, and other courses the school provides. Director at the school is Reverend John Lewis.
So a brief reflection of some of the things that God enabled us to accomplish more or less over the last few years includes several things. It includes courses that have been taught, including marital intelligence, expository preaching, and recently our own Grenadian brother, Adrian Aben, he taught us cross-cultural missions. We have currently with us teaching a course called The Book of Esther by Dr. George Frederick. And just in case you haven't signed on yet, it's not too late to sign on in this exciting book study with Dr. George Frederick.
Chairman of the Grenada Conference of Churches, Silbert Prescott, highlighted the need for church leaders to be better equipped to engage in ministry.
Over the past 2 years or so, our faith or the faith of our people have been severely tested as we confront a wide range of challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. And more than ever, there is a need for persons to be equipped with the appropriate pastoral skills and education that will enable them to respond to the spiritual and psychosocial challenges that are currently confronting us as a people.
Valedictorian for the class of 2022 is Bishop of the Pentecostal Assemblies of the West Indies, Reverend Christopher Baker, who graduated with a master's degree in theology.
As of the last quarter of 2020, life on this global ball took on an unexpected trajectory with the onset of the COVID-19 virus. The pandemic that has changed our lifestyles, altered our daily routines, locked up learning institutions across the world, and for many of us in the graduating class, even impacted the modality under which we studied.
President of Teaching Mission International and guest speaker was Dr. Chuck Logie.
Do you know and know you know? Then ask God for the courage to lead the congregation to shepherd those precious sheep God has given you. You know that the shepherds are judged more strictly because they have been given much. To whom much has been given, much is required. Cling to the Lord, lead by serving, and those who are called by the Holy Spirit will follow you, not to the ends of the earth, but to the gates of heaven.
For MTV News, I am Troy Gill.
On the final day of a recently concluded 3-day religious convention, Grenada's Minister of Religious Affairs highlighted the role of the church in addressing the many societal ills, including engaging young people who may have lost their way and require spiritual intervention. Here once again is Troy Gill.
The Church of God of Prophecy concluded its 39th biannual three-day national convention at the Deluxe Cinema Grenville, St. Andrew on Sunday, with the three churches on the island, including visitors, religious leaders, and government officials in attendance. During the service, Minister of Education and Religious Affairs, Honorable Emmeline Pierre, appealed to the church to take a more proactive role in tackling some of the issues young people face, in light of the recent spike in violent behaviors amongst the nation's youth.
Everything that we see manifested through children, every single thing that they do, look for the adults that they are copying. Look for the examples that we are showing to them. If we teach them to disrespect authority, of course they're going to do that. If we teach them to disrespect the elderly, of course they're going to do that. And so this is a wake-up call for all of us. What are we teaching our children? And so I want to appeal to the church this evening to continue.
Regional Overseer for the Church of God of Prophecy, based in Barbados, Bishop Edward Payne, focused on this year's theme, Facing the Challenges of the Last Days.
The internet has become a great university for people to go on and listen to things that contradict not just the doctrine of the Bible, but everything that is meaningful as it relates to the things of God. And we have to be careful there, church. This is sad, however, but these are the last days and the last days trends. And some of this is in many of the assemblies today. This is a great challenge to leadership. When false doctrines and false teachings come to affect the word, the Bible speaks about the indelible word of God.
National Overseer for Grenada, Bishop Richard Hopkin, warned the church to not get comfortable as he anticipates that there will be more challenges to come.
As Christians, we have to understand that we are not isolated from these last days. Not because we accept Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior, it means that trials or challenges would not come our way. I believe it is opposite to what we believe. I believe that as the children of God, we have more challenges to face than the world.
The convention concluded with district appointments of members from the three churches to serve on the national executive for the next 2 years. For MTV News, I am Troy Gill.
And just before we go to a break, on the 43rd anniversary of Grenada Revolution, we look back at education during that era. Established in September 1979, just 6 months into the revolutionary period, the Institute for Further Education, IFE, was one of the educational institutions which produced a community of well-rounded individuals in Grenada. Now, although it may appear that the authorities had very little time to prepare for the commencement of this institution, they were able to put it off. In fact, according to a former student of the IFE, Richard Duncan, this may not have been in the planning before. However, he said what they did have
Good morning and welcome to Rise and Shine for today, Tuesday. It's another wonderful day. It's the 15th day of March. We're in the middle of the month, the middle of the third month. We're about to conclude the first quarter of the year. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. I am Ocelyn Crosby. Another day for us to give you a positive start to your day, another day for us to share information with you, and another day for us to encourage you to be a better person, better than you was yesterday. As each day we wake up and we have an opportunity to see another day, we have another chance to right some of our wrongs and try to be a better person. And that's all we encourage you. We always encourage you to do this. And today is no different. Help someone today. Instead of us sitting down and criticizing, or in most cases recording, that we stand up and make a difference. Tell someone, no, what you did was wrong. I think you should do it another way. I think you need to reconsider that position. I think you need to try to be a better person. Inspire someone. The little things we do can have huge, huge impacts. So as we normally do every morning, we give you an opportunity, we help you plan your day, and we do so by sharing the weather forecast with you. So we go over to the Met Office now, where we join the forecaster for today to hear the weather forecast. Good morning. Thank you so much, Fimber. And that's the weather forecast for this morning. I want to recap this: cloudy, windy, and hazy. Chances of slight rain. And please, all fisher folks on the eastern side of the island, that marine advisory is specific to you. Please be mindful of this. If you are going out today, be extra cautious, as that marine advisory is very, very specific to your area. We want to ensure that we can count everyone, and we don't want to be speaking about you. Safety first, safety first. If you are going out today, it's important that you let someone know that you are going out. When you're leaving, when you're back, let somebody know. And of course, just in case you encounter challenges, that you do have the necessary communicative tools so that you can communicate to shore, so that if you do encounter challenges, that you can be assisted in time. That is important. It's important that we can count every single citizen here and not about anybody. So let's do what we need to do to ensure that we are safe today. So what we're going to do is already 7:44. We need to get into our first discussion for the morning, and we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we speak to head of the traffic department and representative from the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority about this new derelict vehicle cleanup project.
Next chapter in West Indies' biggest rivalry continues. West Indies flies against England for the Apex Test Series in 3 test matches. Tickets start as low as $20 and local residents enjoy an additional 50% discount with online purchase. Must be fully vaccinated to attend all matches, and COVID-19 protocols will be in effect. Secure your seats to the action. Get your tickets in advance at windiescricket.com/tickets. Terms and conditions apply.
The Nawasa app brings the power of Nawasa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. Like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawasa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. Mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
We are committed Catholics. Listen to us.
Youth like us must be given a hearing.
I am a farmer and I have a story to tell.
I'm a farmer and I too would like to share my story.
Even though we walk over there Sunday to Sunday, we too have a story to tell.
I am a Catholic sometimes and I have things to say. I need someone to listen. I have a lot to say on behalf of single parents.
The Catholic Diocese of St. George's in Grenada has begun a synod process. Pope Francis has involved the Universal Church. Your voice is important. Come, share your story, your experience, and your expectations of church.
Introducing the Grenlec mobile app. You can now get your bill balance and easily track energy usage for your home or business. Report and receive alerts about power outages. Plus, stay up to date by receiving the latest notifications. Yes, the Grenlec app keeps you connected anytime, anywhere.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Rise and shine.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us, just in case you are just doing so. As indicated before we went on the break, we get into our first discussion this morning, and it's a pleasure to invite the Integrated Resource Manager, the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, Mr. Alan Gilbert, and also Head of the Traffic Department, Superintendent Randy Connaught. And today we're speaking about the Derelict Cleanup Project. It's a collaborative one happening between the Solid Waste Management Authority and the police. So good morning, gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Good morning, Ms. Crosby. Thank you for having us.
A while, and I was looking forward to seeing it happen. I know we had that conversation before. The issues created by derelict vehicles on our nation's roads as relates to safety, access, and also just its unsightly nature. I'm going to start our conversation this morning with the representative from the Solid Waste Management Authority, Mr. Gilbert, because I think that one might have been a project conceptualized, put the hard work in by Solid Waste Management Authority, because it falls well within your area. But I also know it was an observation made by the police for quite a while. So let's start off with Mr. Gilbert. Speak to us about the background of this project.
of something new, a new product in itself. The solid waste has adopted a new approach we call integrated resource recovery. And by that, we are going to be taking waste and converting it into some product that could be useful to another, as we said, a new product or something else, or to add value to something. So in doing so, one of the disturbing waste streams we considered was that of derelict vehicles. It's very bulky and it takes up a lot of space on a landfill. And we've just recently constructed a new landfill, and the landfill has a very short lifespan. And as we looked and considered what can we do to increase the lifespan of the new landfill, we decided that it would be prudent for us to ensure that we remove derelict vehicles from getting in there. So that's where the idea came from. And we started to look at how we can sustainably recycle the scrap metals and all of the other items that comes from the derelict vehicles. Our plan brought us to doing public-private partnership agreements because of a resource issue. Obviously, Grenada in the climate we are in right now, and when I say climate, the economic climate, strapped for financial resources, we're looking to work with private partners to see how they can come on board to get this initiative going and to, as it will, bring the resources, do the investment, and both of us mutually benefit. So we started looking at that, and we went ahead and putting out a request for proposal, request for expression of interest into this project for private partners. And we had 3 persons expressing their interest. One was a foreign entity. And we went through a rigorous evaluation process and selected the overseas partner. And while going ahead with our planning, I saw on a social media platform that there was an initiative by the Royal Grenada Police Force and the Ministry of Works, and they was bringing this tow truck into Grenada to move derelict vehicles. But the discussion was that what will they do with the derelict vehicles? And so when I heard that, I was shocked, but I was happy at the same time. And so I put a message in the chat, and a young man from the ministry reached out to me, and immediately we started discussions. We had a meeting at the ministry, and we began a collaborative effort instead of it being a single effort by the solid waste. And so we brought unique perspectives, and we brought unique resources to the table. So the RGPF going to be the enforcers. They are going to assist with transportation. And we had an arm for recycling. So these two came together, and it's now a sustainable project that we could probably see turning out into being a program or part of our regular operations. So that's about, I mean, it wasn't very short, but at least some of the background of how we got started.
The explanation is welcome. Welcome explanation, because it speaks to us, actually, we are planning. And I think that's important. Securing, we do expand, yes. We have gotten to the stage where we have the old landfill, and now we have another. And I mean, we have known it, I've known it all my life. You're passing and you've seen the dump in Perseverance. And now my children will pass, Mommy, what is this? It means, therefore, that we are planning. So the next couple of years, as they grow to be adults, they would not wonder, what is this? They may not even be seeing it, because we are now planning for the future to ensure that our landfill, because we know that is a challenge, we are having space to ensure that we can accommodate our waste. And I'm happy that the Solid Waste Management Authority is thinking along that line. Superintendent Connaught, I want to include you in the conversation now. I know this is a dream come true for you. And when I heard Mr. Gilbert speak this morning about the police bringing in some of these tow trucks to remove some of these derelict vehicles along the road, I know we had this conversation before. And for the police, it is a problem. It is a problem. Not just as I said unsightly, but safety issues. Access is another challenge. Emergency vehicles, I have witnessed already where the fire truck needs the access to go out and out a fire. And this is a critical service. And they cannot pass. The fire truck have to stop and blow vehicles. If those that are not parked, as those are the derelict on the side of the road, they're restricting the flow of traffic. And it can also create serious safety concerns, safety and health concerns, mosquitoes, children. We had a case a couple years ago where a child died in a derelict vehicle down Grandans when she was stuck in it. And that one was so sad. It was around a Easter time. I'm sure you can remember that. So it creates a lot of challenges. And I know for you, it is great, and you're just waiting for it to roll out so that you can see our communities looking the way it should be. Superintendent Connor.
Good morning, husband, and good morning, Grenada, and thank you again for this opportunity whereby the police, along with our colleague, esteemed partners within the various ministries, and Mr. Gilbert, we actually met by accident, and pardon me because I have seen that I have an internet issue here.
Yes, we are having some internet issues, but on your end.
My apologies for that here. So we actually by accident.
We seem to be having with Superintendent Connaught. Superintendent Connaught, your bandwidth seem to be a little low, so I'm not getting your video at all.
They are also critical partners because for quite some time, members of the general public has been advocating and lending a voice to the whole issue of derelict vehicles, not only because of the menacing unsightly nature of our public roadway, but also they created a very significant issue with respect to our ability to properly enforce road regulations and to ensure that proper traffic management is done consistent with our expectations. Suffice to say, it impedes public transport and also the response of emergency service vehicles. So the RGPF in essence has been doing its bit collaboratively with the Ministry of Health, and our authority is guided by Section 39 of the Waste Management Act number 16 of 2001. Herein with the minister has authorized by law that every police officer is an authorized officer in terms of enforcing this regulation. So we have been on board with this for quite some time, but as alluded to by Mr. Gilbert, we have limitations also. And after having discussions with the Ministry of Works, I am proud to say that today, it was featured in the launch. We are now the recipient of a brand new modern tow truck. It would also be dedicated to this project.
Connaught, that your internet connection is making it quite difficult for us to hear you.
I'm realizing that it seems that I have a problem this morning for whatever reason. I'm sorry for this.
Okay, here's what you can try. Take off your video. Take off your video and let's work with just the audio. So we just see your name with the bandwidth. It should work better with just the audio.
Okay, I'm not too sure as to how far you and the listening public were able to hear me, but I just sort of summarize here now. In essence, the Solid Waste Management Authority and the Royal Grenada Police Force and the other partners, we actually met by what I would call just an accident by running into each other on social media. Mr. Gilbert having reached out and the colleague from Ministry of Works reaching out. And that is where the relationship started. And I must say, we have went ahead leaps and bounds since after our engagement, because we are at the stage now where we had an official launch. And obviously, coming to the end of this month, our secretariat will be open. And I believe that now the issue of derelict vehicles has been quite a great concern for the RGPF for quite some time. And I must say, it not only impedes our ability to provide that level of traffic management that is required on a daily basis, but more and more with the intake of or the influx of vehicles coming to the public roadway, they now have to compete with those derelict vehicles, and that creates a significant challenge. They also have created also a great safety concern by and large, as you spoke to the issue. It's a very tragic incident, of course. And up to quite recently, on another visit to a community to this extinguish a fire had to be blocked by quite a number of derelict vehicles in that particular community. But I'm elated to say that the general public has been clamoring, giving support and calling in, because since the launch of the project, I can tell you the amount of phone calls that came into traffic. And I'm kind of a legacy project, as we call it, and I am proud to be a part of it, the RGPF likewise, and I'm certain that all of the other stakeholders are eagerly awaiting for the rollout where we can start our operations.
I think that is definitely going to be a great project. Mr. Gilbert, I'm back to you. The Secretariat will be open, I think, officially from the 28th. Is the 28th of this month? Speak to us about what you can, how this whole process will happen. I know there was a call for people to, it may be your vehicle and you cannot move it, but you call and you report, but there's a process. So share with us how we can share the information on identifying these derelict vehicles in our communities.
So thank you. So it is still a work in progress, and we're still developing some of the protocols and the procedures for recording. But the main idea is that the hotline and the number is 439-2019. It's already been set up. It will become active on the 28th of March this year. And so the intention is that persons will call in to report derelict vehicles which obstruct traffic in their communities. They can call in also to request removal and disposal of derelict vehicles on their property or other sites, including from garages. And so they may be persons who have garages, and there are lots of vehicles that they have there, and it's maybe a challenge to remove them. They can speak to us, and we can arrange to have them removed and become part of the recycling process. They can report derelict or abandoned vehicles which have a pest or which may be just causing public nuisances and so on. And you can then also find out about what is the process. There may be specific questions you have relative to one of the vehicles that maybe have a special condition attached to it, and by then we might be able to answer all of the questions. So that will be the purpose of the hotline.
All right. Since this is a project, does it have a timeline for it to go on, or will this be continuous?
So good question. So it's called a project, and a project, for those who probably might have done some project management, has a definite start and a definite end. This is a project which will have a definite end because, as we have been told by the police, we have over 50,000 inactive vehicles, and that will give us about 1/5 of that will be derelict. So we're talking about at least about around 10,000 derelict vehicles to clean up. Our logistics planning indicated that it should take approximately about 12 months to complete. And so with about a contingency time, we're thinking 12 to 18 months to complete. After that project is completed, we plan to manage the derelict vehicle situation on the project as part of our regular operations. So we'll have just one station, and where periodically we will continue to clean up derelict vehicles and over periods of time, recycle, export the scrap metal for recycling.
Excellent. I was about to ask what happens after the project has ended, when we move all that we have on the street or in our communities that are derelict, and how do we move forward that management. So it means therefore that that secretariat would eventually become a department within the Solid Waste Management Authority.
Not necessarily. It may turn out to be that way, but we may just manage that through our regular operations with our regular staff.
Okay, great. Superintendent Connaught, I know your internet is still giving you a bit of a challenge, but the police, as you said, it has been a worrying topic, it has been a worrying situation, but it will bring us a lot more benefits than we know the other side of things. As the police continue though, we know that you are the one that is working with traffic, and I realize you have been speaking heavily to it because it does create a challenge, and now we know that traffic is a very, very sore point, sore discussion, because everything nowadays, if we only listen, every morning we would make noise about traffic. No matter the time you leave now, unless you plan to leave home since about 6 o'clock, traffic is a very, 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 very sore topic, and I want us to speak about that, even if it's another session here with me. How we can advise people to try to beat the traffic, because it's a lot. We speak about 50,000 vehicles on island. I think from the lockdown to now, we might have a lot more. The challenge there, but managing derelict vehicles, that challenge, and how we plan to move forward, and the police on the enforcement arm of things. Can you pitch in here for me, Superintendent Connaught?
Okay, good morning again, and thank you for your question. I know this, I think it requires a cultural shift in our mindset. We definitely need to make those administrative moves, decisions when it comes to us having to deal with issues of engaging in traffic on a daily basis. I too have made that shift quite a long time ago. It takes me 5 minutes to get to work, and because of the situation now, I am always at work. I'm way ahead of time because I know traffic is something that I would have to contend with. So definitely, we need to start to consider the times that we leave home, because it's not going to get easier. The traffic department can do so much. The road network remains the same, and we have an increase in the volume of traffic. So that begs itself as to the Herculean task that is before us as a nation. And it's not just an issue with the police. Collectively, we have to engage this issue. Suffice to say, with the issue of derelict vehicles, I just wanted to update the nation again as to where we are. Since our discussions were held, the police responsibility in this whole effort is also to identify. So what we do, we have a number of officers in the field from since we started our discussions, and they are actually doing what you call mapping, getting a sense as to where those concentration of derelict vehicles are. And might I say, they are scattered all over the length and breadth of the island. On a daily basis, they go out and they do tagging of those vehicles. What we propose to do in the not too distant future, once the secretariat is open, we would advertise those areas that we will be pursuing, going to do our tagging, because it is required of us to do what you call zoning. So when the collection commences, just like our other service providers would give notification to the general public, we too would also put out a public advisory, letting members of the public know where our operations would be conducted in what particular time. So this is part of the whole effort. It is going to be quite a long, drawn-out process, but of course, we have been having favorable responses from members of the general public, and we believe that with those levels of cooperation, definitely things will be well on the way, and our programming or agenda would be realized with very little hiccups. I've traveled through a couple of villages already just to get a sense as to what is going on. And I have seen some persons already aiding the advent of this new program by removing some of the derelict vehicles off the roadside themselves. But what I have noted also, and that would be a major concern for the Ministry of Health, is that some of those vehicles that were removed from the roadside are actually being placed further into private property. But the situation remains the same as it relates to rodents being harbored in those vehicles. the exposure to children having to engage those vehicles and children do what children does. So definitely children would engage in those vehicles, and God forbid we have another unfortunate situation as we have had in the past where a child had to lose his or her life playing around with a derelict vehicle. Another major concern for us, generally for law enforcement, is the fact that these vehicles are sometimes used as trash cans. People just walk by, throw their trash into those vehicles. Rodents feast upon whatever is left. Idle hands also get attracted to those vehicles. And sometime in the past too, I could recall that the fire department had to respond to a fire in a derelict vehicle. Some idle person saw it fit to maybe just catch a blaze, whatever was inside that vehicle. But most significantly, and that has been an appeal from the fire department, consistently they have been appealing to the traffic department and the powers that be to make moves to have this vexing issue become a thing of the past. Because the emergency vehicles for one, and the fire truck by its sheer size and the narrowness of some of our inner roads, it is very, very difficult. It has been proven to be very difficult for fire and emergency response to get through those small villages. Another issue, which is another side of the elephant we have to focus on, is that of roadside garages. But as I always say, it's an elephant to be eaten one bite at a time.
I am happy because I was planning to ask about it, but I think it would form part of the broader conversation on that, because that is another challenge that we have, the roadside garages. People bringing their vehicles to fix. And I was also about to ask you about road safety, because derelict vehicles come from one, it can be mechanical, or it can also be due to accidents. And we know that the year started very, very busy, quite interesting for our road users. So it will form part of a bigger discussion for the police and also solid waste with that of derelict vehicles. Because yes, we may have 50,000 plus vehicles on our nation's roads. Some of them, after they have encountered some mechanical challenges, we cannot find the parts, they end up staying by the mechanic or staying on the side of the road, and that's it for them. We find another one, and that is how we go. So there is going to be a broader conversation to this, and I think public awareness would form a critical part of it all. How we purchase, what we purchase, access to parts, and also road safety would come into all of this. And I think you would agree with me on that element of this whole project, because it is going to be a comprehensive one.
If you may permit me, Oslin, the whole issue of derelict vehicle, it taints our brand. We are with the Grenada brand, and there's no other brand like the Grenada brand. You'd have seen in the past a number of derelict vehicles being sprayed with all kind of graffiti. It does not send a good message out to the international community. Also, these vehicles are sometimes used as areas to stash illegal narcotics. The police have had to take out quite a significant amount of narcotics from those vehicles. It becomes an idle spot for persons to line and engage in nefarious acts. We have seen also derelicts being used to store stolen items. And of course, as you rightfully said, it hinges on our ability to provide that level of road safety that is required for our commuters and persons using the public roadway. And it increased the risk of accidents. We have seen also persons having to navigate around derelict vehicles and obviously crashing into an oncoming vehicle. So that is definitely a major, major issue. And I'm very happy this morning that the RGPF has partnered with all of the other agencies to deal with this vexing issue.
Yes, we will need another morning to continue our conversation on this, but I want us to focus a lot on road safety the next time we speak. I will have the team contact you so that we can continue this discussion. It's just about time for us to wrap up now. But before we do, Mr. Gilbert, I'm going to give you an opportunity to share some parting words with us on the project. We know that from the 28th of March, the Secretariat will become, it will be active. People can call in, report, and together with the police, the derelict vehicles will be removed.
My colleague talked about the brand Grenada, the Solid Waste Authority sits under the auspices of the Ministry of Climate Resilience, the Environment, Forestry, Fisheries, and Disaster Management. I think it includes tourism as well. And so under this ministry, there is the whole aspect of ensuring our tourism product remains intact. And so this project addresses a number of issues from a number of different angles. It addresses environmental and public health issues. It addresses and will address issues relative to tourism and how we ensure that the product stays healthy and that Grenada remains a premier tourist destination. It addresses a waste management issue and a strategic approach to new waste management and recycling. And so I'm saying all this to encourage the public to get on board with us and to call in and to let's clean the island up together. We're not doing it to disenfranchise anyone. We're doing it for love of country. We're doing it for cleanliness and all of the good things. So join us in calling in. Let us know. You may have your own personal vehicle that's in your property. It's there. You know it's not going to be fixed. Call us. We can discuss moving it. We want to let the public know that there may be fees. We don't want to hide anything from you. The questions weren't asked, but there may be small fees relative to the collection of vehicles. And it's going to be less than what you will be charged if you were asked to move it, right? And so we could discuss that with you, let you know what they're going to be. We still are yet to finish that plan and to finish the financial model that will guide the project, but it's a work in progress. We've launched to show that we're serious and this is going to get on the road. So we encourage everybody to join in support and let's get this done. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Gilbert. Superintendent Connaught, any parting words from you?
Inspected. This is critically important because we really don't want that build up as we would have had on February 15th. But for parting words for this program, really elated to be a part of this traffic department, the RGPF, and our partners. Us will be going at it very hard so that we arrive at a stage where we can boast about having a very clean environment on my end, but obviously we are in it for the greater good, and we trust that the members of the general public who has been those words of encouragement and support, we look forward to continued support, your encouragement. After all, it is
Okay, so I think we continue with that challenge. Superintendent Connaught and Mr. Gilbert, thank you so much for sharing this morning. It was a pleasure speaking with both. And I know this conversation will continue as you will give us an update when the project has started in earnest and how it is going. So have a good day, gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining me. So we will move over to our second conversation. One time, we're almost out of time, but we must speak to the senior men's national team head coach. He's attached to the Grenada Football Association, Mr. Michael Findlay. We have been speaking, I believe this could be possibly be our first conversation for the year. Mr. Findlay, good morning and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning, and how are you today?
I am wonderful, and you, sir?
Very good, very good.
Great. It's always a pleasure speaking with you as you bring us always good news and hope as to what's happening in the development of football here in Grenada. You bring a lot to us and we do appreciate your contribution. Today we're talking about that trip Our senior men's team, they're getting ready to go out to the UK. We see that our markets, the spaces where we are now competing, it's expanding, and that's great. Speak to us about preparation for that and where our senior men's team are, because I know you have been working with them for quite a while.
Thanks very much for the time, and very much appreciate it. This is an exciting time for the GFA on numerous fronts. The GFA currently is working on multiple programs and multiple national teams, so it is an incredibly challenging time. But I think they're stepping up to the plate, as they say in the American baseball world, and meeting those challenges. As it relates to the senior men's national team, for us, it's a very specific period of our 2022 planning phase. We had set out after the end of 2021 with the idea that we wanted to play in all of the FIFA recognized international competition windows. So we were constantly in a competitive and developing mode. So in January, we took the team, which was a domestically based team, both here from Grenada and also in the United States, and took them into Florida, where we trained for 10 days and played 2 matches against MLS teams who were in their preseason. So we got a really good look at our domestic-based players and our US-based players. The second phase of that plan was now coming up in March, where we will be taking players both domestically from here and also the US out of that first group and joining them with our UK-based players, where we will be entering the UEFA Confederation and playing 2 matches. One against Gibraltar on March 23rd and one against Andorra on March the 28th. So this is the first time that Grenada has been playing in UEFA. So it's an exciting time. And for us, it's an opportunity for us to continue to assess this group of players, which is all building up to June, which is our Nations League games that are coming fast and furious. So a really exciting but challenging, but a great time for GFA and the senior men's national team.
Yes, it is. Venturing to new UEFA is the first time I know we have been a part of actually heard about us being involved with UEFA, but that's the first time I think we're playing. So that is great news. It means that we are expanding our horizon, and I would agree with you that it is an exciting time for the development of football here. With that, we know that it will inspire our younger players, our grassroots, and the younger teams on the 20s, and so to be a lot more interested in the game and know that it is not just the game, but the discipline and the education part of it is also very critical. Because I know we spoke about this extensively in the past.
What we're trying to do here is we're trying to look long term, and I think it's a great challenge in football, not just in Grenada but globally, especially with smaller developing nations, that you have to have a long-term plan in place and understand that not necessarily today is the day that you're going to win. But where you will win on every day is when we're engaging the players, where we're setting standards, where we're setting a vision and a goal for these players. Specifically, the senior men's national team is we want as many players playing professional football globally as possible. And we've reached those goals in the last number of months as there's a number of our players who have moved on to professional environments. That gives us an opportunity to put them in the best possible space, which then does what you've just mentioned. It inspires, it lets players here on the island emulate those players and wish to move forward. And that can only help both the GFA, our success as senior men's team, but football in general for the island. And I think that is the ultimate goal, and we're taking our steps. And as I say, it's a long-term project.
It is. So now, what's our next goal? We know FIFA, we know of CONCACAF, now we're going to UEFA. What will be the next goal?
Well, the next goal is relatively short term in the sense that with the Nations League in CONCACAF coming up in June, that competition is going to be extremely difficult. We are lucky enough, and credit has to be given to the previous group who got us to this position. We will be competing in what they call League A, and we are in the top 12 of CONCACAF as it relates to the Nations League, not our ranking, but our Nations League position. So we're going to be playing some very established teams, probably one or two of them that will by that point have qualified for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. It'll be an opportunity for our players to really test where we are in our program and where we need to be. It also gives us an opportunity to potentially qualify for the 2023 Gold Cup because the qualifying process has changed now. So it gives us an opportunity to do that. But it really gives us an opportunity to put a foothold in our planning for the long term, which is all about 2026 and 2030. And it seems like a long way away, but if we don't put these stakes in the ground and we don't play on a consistent basis, we won't be able to reach those goals in the long term. So short term, June, Nations League, and then we'll reassess as we move forward for the rest of the year.
That sounds very interesting. That sounds very, very, very interesting. So we're preparing now for June. I know you continue to take the lessons along with every time we compete. You do the assessment and we try to improve on the team, what it is that the areas that are weak, but also ensuring that we highlight their strengths. So far, I know the last time we spoke, you did say that what you're seeing is natural talent once harnessed, that it can take us to where we want to be. And of course, by our 10-year goals, that is. Do you still maintain this position after you have seen how we are competing? And not just, I know you're not just looking at the men, but also we have our girls. We have our Spice Girls that are also playing. And I know you do pay also, close attention to that, as FIFA is also focusing heavily on the development of women's football.
Well, yeah, I mean, two questions there. To your first question, yes, we continue to see the advancement of our players. The reality here is that these players, domestically based, need standards, they need consistency, they need leadership, and they need the opportunity. That is done through very specific and very organized football within the island, which the GFA is working on. But there is no doubt that we need to improve the environments which these players are existing in here in Grenada, which then propels them on to the next opportunity. A prime example is Benjamin Etienne from the local QPR club who signed a couple of months ago with the Charleston Battery in the USL in America. That is a bright light for us because it shows that this player who is 18 years old showed great promise, was seen through the Gold Cup experience, was seen through our January camp in the US, and has now put himself into a position where he's a professional footballer. That should be the goal of all of our players within Grenada. We have worked very hard on creating a younger group. We worked specifically with our under-20s in November in the Dominican Republic, and we've been able to identify a group of new players to join our long list of players in our senior team. We have a much larger list of players, and one of, I think, the most exciting parts for us is myself, along with the rest of the technical staff, which includes Anthony Modeste and Desmond Knoll, that were ex-internationals for Grenada, an opportunity to be challenged. And what I mean by that is we now have to make decisions about picking players, which is good news. It's difficult, but that's our responsibility. Playing is the player's responsibility. But making decisions and having two players compete for the one position is the position we need to be in on a constant basis. We need to constantly be put under pressure with regards to our selections. As it relates to your women's question, yeah, it's very, very early days in the women's program. I think Jerry Alexis, the TD of Grenada, has done an extremely good job in terms of creating an environment around the women's program, trying to work both on the coaching development side and the player development side. And this, again, is a long-term project, and you have to start somewhere. And it's exciting for us that also a former member of our staff, Jake Rennie, has taken up the head coaching job with the women's currently. He'll return to our group after he's finished his responsibilities there. But again, we're trying to put the best people in the best positions possible to help all these players, whether they're male or female.
And it is also very encouraging, always very encouraging speaking to you, because you share so much. You share so much on the growth what we see and also an idea as to where we are going. When will that encounter in the UK be, and when does our team leave?
We'll be departing from different parts of the globe. That's the reality of global football now. But we'll all come together in Gibraltar, which is in the southern part of Spain, on coming up this weekend. Our first game will be on the 23rd in Gibraltar. Following that game, we will travel on to Andorra, which is in sort of the northeastern part of Spain, in between France and the Catalonia area. And we will play Andorra on the 28th, and then all players will return to their clubs on the 29th. So it's a very tight window, a lot of work to be done in a very short amount of time on field. We've been doing a lot of work off field, obviously, with the group, and the glorious internet, as we say, helps us along that way. But that's our travel schedule, and following that, we'll reassess and prepare for our selections for June's games, which will be both home and away. So we're hoping, as things move forward here, we're going to have people in the stands at the Karani James Stadium cheering the Spice Boys on. Looking forward to having people in the stands, which we haven't seen for a very, very long time.
Yes, that sounds like a plan. I think we are all looking forward to this, the day when we can go back into the stadium and we can share, because we know that it helps our footballers, it helps our athletes, it encourages them, and also let them know that they do have that backing. So, Mr. Finlay and your team, the very best. We wish you on that very, very tight week out there, representing for the first time in UEFA. I know it's going to be an exciting time for our players. The exposure, as you did speak to the opportunities, we can have the talent, yes, we can do the work at home, but we know that they are not exposed, that the opportunities are not there for them. It would not be enough to inspire them. And I think we are heading in the right direction. We're on the right path. I encourage you and the team to continue. We say thank you for your contribution, your experience. You're bringing a lot to us. And I think it is reaping, we are reaping benefits, and we are grateful for that. So good luck to you and the team out there as you head on into a whole new part of the world. I don't think.
Very exciting for everybody. This is what football brings us. It brings us, as you say, opportunity, but it also brings a lot of players experiential opportunities culturally, which helps us with our growth and our education. So thanks for your time always, and we look forward to talking to you after I return.
Always, yes. I'm looking forward to that review when you come back from that UEFA trip. I'm sure it will be exciting, and you will be sharing so much more with us. As the more they get exposed, and the more they get an opportunity to play professional players, that they will be looking to improve themselves. So we are looking forward to that conversation upon your return. Safe travels, be safe, you and the team, and we see you on your return.
Okay, thanks very much again. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Michael Finlay, the head coach of our national team. They are heading out to the UK, going out to play Gibraltar and Andorra. It's the first time that the Spice Boys will be out there being a part of UEFA. That's a wonderful opportunity for our footballers, and we say hats off to the GFA. Continue to do what you do as you work to develop football here in Grenada. It was a pleasure. Very interesting conversation this morning. We got to speak about the National Derelict Vehicle Cleanup Project, the Solid Waste Management Authority, and also the police. The police will be the enforcement arm, while the Solid Waste Management Authority is doing the other parts of it, the secretariat. You can call, report vehicles in your community that will need to be removed. Remember, there will be a small fee, but it will be definitely a significant decrease as compared to you having to move that vehicle. So please, let's make use of that opportunity that we have to clean up our community. Remember, it is not just unsightly, it is very, very, very unsafe and unhealthy. A couple of years ago, we did lose a child, and I'm sure the parents of that very, very beautiful little girl, they are still speaking of the encounter. She did get trapped in a derelict vehicle. It happened in the south of the island. I cannot forget that story. I was working in the newsroom then when that happened. And let us avoid a repeat of these encounters. Let us avoid a repeat of these encounters. Just remove these unsafe, very, very unhealthy and unsightly vehicles in our communities. It creates a challenge for access for emergency vehicles to be able to to actually provide essential service to our people in times of need. Fire, and there may be an accident, you cannot access the place. We can lose lives. It's important that we do this. Let's not speak about the rodents and the mosquitoes when they collect water, or people use them as dumping sites. It's unsightly. It's not good. It is tarnishing our brand Grenada. Let us do what we need to do to ensure that we are safeguarding and taking care of this beautiful rock of ours. So that's it from us. And remember, GFA, our team, our Spice Boys, heading out to the UK, going to play Gibraltar and Andorra. They're out there for the first time in the UEFA League. Let's wish them the best and stay safe, of course, as we venture into new frontiers here in the development of football in Grenada. So that's it from me, from the team. It's 8:36 in the morning. If your day started at 8, we wish you a wonderful day. Remember, please, if you can help someone today, do so. Listen. Don't be judgmental. Listen. And if you can offer some words of advice, please do so. Don't offer what you would not want to hear yourself. Be the judge. Assess what you're going to tell someone, and ensure that it's one that you'll be taken on also as a person. Don't tell people to do things that you would not do yourself. Value others. It's important. Value others. The team, Donessa, Elton, Tanya, thank you again. The extended MTV team, thank you so much again for another day. We will be back here on Thursday, God's will, all things remaining the same. Remember, we are into the season of Lent. So let's be mindful of this. I know sometimes we forget our Christian, our foundation. We are into the season of Lent. It is usually a season of reflection, one where we have an opportunity to look at our lives, do some introspection, and also make some meaningful change. It works. And also a time for us to reconnect with that very important side, which is our spirit, the spiritual aspect of our lives. So let's not forget this. Let's not forget this at all. So that's it from me for today. Have a pleasant day, everyone. Be safe. Remember, we are still not entirely out of the woods with the pandemic. So let's be mindful. Wear our masks. Ensure that we are mindful of this. Speak to our children. Please, let us speak to our children. Let them know that you are there for them. Don't be judgmental. Listen to them. But more so, provide guidance. I am Arcelyn Crosby, wishing everyone a pleasant day. See you again on Thursday, God's will.
Say hello to Grenada's hidden gem, Mandela Court, a Grenadian-owned luxury boutique hotel tucked away in Lansipine. Our fully equipped suites are now complemented by an international standard restaurant and conference room. So whether you're having a formal business event, quaint garden wedding, or just a relaxed dinner for two, you can count on Mandela Court for that luxurious experience. Call today to book your viewing or reservation. We look forward to welcoming you.
Introducing the Grenlec mobile app. You can now get your bill balance and easily track energy usage for your home or business. Report and receive alerts about power outages. Plus, stay up to date by receiving the latest notifications. Yes, the Grenlec app keeps you connected anytime, anywhere. The Grenlec mobile app. Download for 24/7 access.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
The next chapter in West Indies' biggest rivalry continues. West Indies flies against England for the Apex Test Series in 3 test matches. Tickets start as low as $20 and local residents enjoy an additional 50% discount with online purchase. Must be fully vaccinated to attend all matches and COVID-19 protocols will be in effect. Secure your seats to the action. Get your tickets in advance at windiescricket.com/tickets. Terms and conditions apply.